So my name is the government knows me as Anthony Ngachira. Uh, People who come and watch stand-up or know me in actual life call me Mutai Ngachira. And I got into comedy. It's like a complicated story, but partly because there's a show I always wanted to go to, and I could never afford the tickets. So the only way I could get into that show is when they were looking for stand-up comedians to feature, and I was like, yeah, let me. So there's a girl who sent me the poster. Hey, you're looking for stand-up comedians, and I was like, I don't think I can do it, but she's like, I think you're funny. And when a girl says she thinks you're funny, like, the game is the game. Yeah.
I always remember always being funny since I was a young kid. The opportunity is what I felt I lacked. So I tried I've done a couple of office jobs, and that to me was like the worst thing you could ever do to a human being. So I remember one time being at work and someone passed me an audition for Churchill's show, and I went there on a random Tuesday, auditioned, and that's how I got into comedy. Well, not on that day, but yeah, I met some comics in the audition setup, and got some open mics where I could go and try out my jokes, and that was it.
I started comedy when I was a college student 10 years ago, officially, yeah. So I did a show when I was studying abroad, and I actually snuck out. Is what happened. I saw this thing and I liked it, and I had been toying around it for so many years, just looking around, discovering. So this one time I said I'm going to go and try it. So I prepared to go. I signed up for an open mic. It was not an open mic, turned out it was a contest for established pros, but I didn't know. So I just wrote some bio, and they thought I knew what I was doing. And I was supposed to perform 10 minutes. So, and then on the day off, actually, I was not going to tell anybody. Then on the day off, the vehicle that I was going to use, my vehicle broke down. So I borrowed somebody else's. And then we traveled. So he told people. So we ended up going with like 6 people there and went to the show. And I started this show. It was called Funny Fest in Calgary. And that's when I started. And then after that, I met other people. And now I got plugged into the main scene.
I got into comedy probably 2 years ago, roughly, through a friend. So I knew that I wanted to do something to do with comedy because I used to make people laugh for free. Okay, I still make people laugh for free, but I got introduced to David Masharia, who was a friend, and he challenged me to go for one open mic, which it took me some time to go, but I finally went. And after a couple of those open mics, I realized that this is something I can grow. This is something that I really want to do, and yeah.
When you don't get enough attention growing up as a child, and you're not shown love by your parents significantly, you become performance becomes a big part of who you are. So you have to show the idea in 3D, but it's mostly, I think, when you do get an idea, it's the patience to sit down with it, to not just to say it immediately, where it could have been a tweet, but now you make it larger and you put more ideas and more perspectives around it. You even say it loud to yourself, and then that's how it becomes fully fledged. By just the time taken to create perspective around it and to flesh it out.
Observation is my main. Anything that elicits a reaction, may it be anger, awkwardness, I take a mental note of that, and then I write it down in a notebook that I always keep with me. And then from there, I kind of just have it in my head playing around, and then I punch it up, writing jokes where I feel like. And now we have open mics so you can try out your jokes. So that's the first time where you put an idea into paper and then onto the stage. And if that works, you have a joke with you.
For me, personally, I think it's from my experiences, because you'd go through something, and usually with other people, but you'd find out that people don't see the joke in that. So you can take those experiences, and comedy is about connections. So if you can connect this experience to something else and bring it out in a different perspective, like in a comic perspective. So for me, from my experiences, I usually just write down in my phone or a book and then develop that joke. So throughout the time, I add a couple things to it, try to tie the joke together for it to become like a whole set.
People sometimes annoy me. Traffic can annoy me. I guess annoyance. No, not annoyance. Alone. There's also other things. Just observing people, watching what people are doing. You see people chasing their own tails, and then you take that and you own it, and then you make fun of it. That's one of the main ways I observe, and then I try and do a thing around that. Sometimes it's also, like I said, annoyance. I really get irritated by things, but I do not like to fight. I'm a lover, not a fighter. So when I get irritated, I take it in, I suck it in, and then I turn it into the jokes. And I come out, yeah. Crazy good or crazy bad?
Let's go bad.
Oh, man. Comedian. I don't have a lot of crazy ideas. I'm a boring person. I am just realizing this right now. And I think, thank you for the opportunity to learn about myself. I am a boring person. I don't have a lot of crazy things that have happened to me. And I'll try and be more adventurous.
Okay, getting paid, first of all, because I wasn't expecting that. Second of all, I've had, usually when we perform, we have this, is it like a poster, but it's like a solid, so it's like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's usually written punchline. So I was hosting actually, and during the performance, it fell on me. And as the host, you need to come back from that. So yeah, I tried to tie a joke to that to at least get the audience that I'm fine, I'm not hurt.
Kind of brings up a lot of emotions because this was just, I think, 2 months ago. We were performing. The setup was wild, crazy. Nothing was working. The audience were across the swimming pool in a huge hotel. And I remember going on 5 seconds into my beat, some random lady across the pool started shouting curse words at me. Never met her before, didn't know who she was. Just started roasting me. She was louder than I was with the microphone. It was bad. It was really bad.
I think it's when I was on stage and my zipper was, and for some reason that day I was commando. So it was so when someone pointed out to me, I was very self-conscious about it. But then I tried to zip up really fast and parts of me got caught up in my zipper. So whenever we watch that clip, the sound I make so everyone keeps reminding me about the sound I made. I was trying to zip up like really fast. Yeah, that was, and that became the laughter the whole time. And I was not even doing really well, but everyone remembered William say, yeah, that guy, yeah.
I had this lady got really drunk. I mean, I've encountered hecklers before, drunk people, but this was a show I was organizing at the same time performing in, and that is never a good combination because I really got angry, which is a thing you should never do when you're on stage. I got really angry, and the audience can just sense it when you're angry, and they shriveled up. Everybody was weird after that because I was supposed to do time. I was supposed to do, I think, 40 minutes, and 10 minutes in, this lady just started heckling me. It's like, you should use condoms. What? I was like, it was a joke about condoms. It was. So now I got really angry, and it became a thing, and I ended up giving a lecture for a further 30 minutes.
It was at a show at Alchemist in Westlands. I don't know if I should mention the place, but so I'm doing all my tried and tested material and nothing is hitting. No giggles, it's just silence, not even crickets. And out of frustration, I just asked the audience, Kwani, what kind of jokes do you guys like? And someone from the audience randomly shouted, funny ones. And everyone laughed at that. So I just put the mic back on the stand and left to cry with my mom.
Well, there was this girl who would come to watch, it was a date and she'd come to see me perform. And there was this guy who was next to her, was hitting on her the whole time I'm on stage, yeah? and he kept like making fun of me. So it was so like you're not even concentrating because like what is he telling her? Like and then at the same time he's heckling you. You're see funny, you know. But then he had so I went low because so he had that thing on his teeth. I think they were slightly stained. And so I kind of went after them. Like I said, how do you know someone was raised in Nakuru? You know, like, that guy there was definitely raised in Nakuru. Smile for them. He didn't know what was happening, so he woke up and smiled. And so everyone saw his face. It was so bad.
So I remember there was a table right next to me. There was a lady. Every time I'd want to do a joke, she wanted to finish the punchline. So I actually asked her to come on stage and we can do a duo of my jokes. And she choked.